Hey, everybody, I hope you are having a great week. We're back for another weekly career huddle. So, we're going to get started here shortly. We have so many updates to be able to share from this past week. How's everybody doing? I see Ibrahim956. How are you doing? And if you can see me, hear me, just throw something down in the comment box below. Hey, Emily, thanks for joining us this week. So every single week we do this weekly career huddle, and we usually focus on a different type of topic every single week. And we've had a lot going on behind the scenes over the past week. We relaunched an entirely new website, moved 100% onto WordPress. Last night, we launched an entirely new course on this website about how to build a WordPress site. And if that weren't enough, we also launched an entirely new community that a lot of you joined last week on this new community, and there are different discussion pages, there are different topics, anybody can create a topic. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about kind of, as always in our weekly career huddles, we always leave time for Q&A as well. So if this is, hey Carson, if
Hey.
this is your first time joining us on Instagram Live, on the bottom toolbar, there's a comment box. And so jump in that comment box and just say hello. If you have a question at the end of this session, we're going to answer every single one of the questions that gets asked. So hit the question mark button with the chat bubble that's like right there on your screen. And you can type in any questions there, anything about careers, anything about internships, anything college related, anything transitioning jobs, layoffs, changing industries, your next promotion, perhaps. Put your question in that question box and we'll save room for there. And if you know somebody else that's working hard on their career, working hard on their future, hit that airplane icon. So it's a little paper airplane icon. And you can actually share this live directly with any of your Instagram friends. So you can just type that. You won't even leave this Instagram live, but you'll be able to type a message and pick some friends to be able to share this with. All right, if you are ready to get going, hit that heart button down below and let's kick this off. So Carson, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I know you talked a little bit about at the beginning when I came in about our transitioning to a new site with all of our added features. And so I think this week has been a little stressful, but definitely a test in how we manage our tasks and like priorities.
Yeah, we have had an incredible group of interns starting this past week as well. And one of the projects that's part of our virtual internship program is to build a personal website. And we use WordPress to be able to build our own site, but also my personal website's built on WordPress. And I think it was like the first like blog that I had ever launched, like when I was a teenager. Like WordPress has been around forever. But
Yeah.
the thing I didn't know until I looked into it this week was Airbnb uses WordPress, Spotify uses WordPress, Disney uses WordPress. So it's like some of the
Wow.
largest companies also use WordPress to be able to power their site. And if you're interested in a career in the future, um, and you want to build up skill sets in whether it's marketing, whether it's web development, WordPress is a great way to get started, but it's also a platform that a lot of big companies use, and so
Mhm.
it's a pretty good one
And
to be able to
you
know.
know what, Vincent? It's so easy to use. It's like, um, whenever I think of like, oh, creating your own website, I think about the coding and everything that's involved in like making a
Yeah.
professional website. But WordPress makes it so easy. Yeah, and so it's like so stress free.
So I see Caroline. Hey, thanks for joining us. Pertarski, good to see you. Princess Belly Katie 2020, nice to have you here. Chris, always good. Nadia, Monica the chemist, good to see everybody. So if you are just joining us for our weekly career huddle, there's a question button down below where you can put a question into that question box. And we're going to save time at the end of this section to be able to do that. So, throughout the past few weeks, we've been going through a pretty big technology migration, and project management skills are definitely necessary anytime you're going through a big change. And what's really interesting is a lot of people think that you need like project management training or project management experience to be able to handle these types of projects. But the reality of it is, a lot of the project management skills that I learned were actually running events like in student organizations. And Carson, I think your background and experience has kind of been the same too. Like, how did you turn kind of like non-business project experience into actual relevant experience on your resume?
That's a good question. I think um, the most, the one that comes to mind is planning like events for my sorority. So that was things that I didn't consider to be project management or directly transferable skills on my resume. But then looking back, I remember talking about that experience and the things I had to do, like getting insurance, planning transportation and things like that, which I just hadn't realized that that was going to be a those were going to be skills that I could apply to my future and to project management. And so I feel like it's a lot of those like organizational skills. So whether you're planning a birthday for a friend or you're just doing like your weekly planning, I think those are all easy ways where you could start getting those skills. But yeah, and that is ended up being something I put on my resume. So
Yeah, I think that's what's really awesome is like being able to look at that and then transfer that over into another space. Really awesome to see all the waves in the chat for everybody who's just joined us. This is our weekly career huddle. This week, our next group of our first group of interns are starting to build out websites and really take a look at SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. And, something that's kind of like a misconception is you can just like launch a blog, write an article, and then like all these tons of people will come and read your blog post, which, the Google just doesn't work that way anymore because so many people have websites and Google indexes millions of websites. And so this week, even as we were transferring our own website, we were going through a ton of different SEO exercises. And a lot of that are the things that our interns are learning this week in the SEO course. And I know, Carson, you were working on meta descriptions for our
yes.
website and kind of making sure that like URLs stayed
Mm-hmm.
consistent. But like, what were some of the things that you did on like images and article names, article titles, headers, and things like that to make sure that we rank well? It's really funny right now. If you
Yes.
do a Google search for "Can I wear shorts to an interview?" like one of our blog posts that I think you wrote is like one of the top blog
Yeah.
posts.
Yeah, exactly. So something that before learning about SEO, I never realized that how strategic um, companies were with the things that they posted. And so basically, every time you post an image with a blog, you also want to rename that image, the title of the article, or some other key words that would be commonly searched so that not only your article comes up, but also if somebody searches for a certain phrase, that your image also comes up, because then it's kind of serves the purpose of having two channels to get to that article. And then also making sure you have alternative text. So that's kind of like describing what is going on in the image for accessibility purposes as well as SEO optimization. And then again, like Vincent said, making sure all of our links were consistent, and also making sure the file formats were consistent. That was something that we ran into some problems with, but yeah.
Yeah, this was big for us. We get thousands of people who find our website from Google. And so when we were transferring and kind of moving our website from one service over to the other, it was just so important to be able to do this right so that we're not losing all of that web traffic. There's a lot of different ways that companies grow. Paid traffic is one of them. Organic traffic is another. And that comes from places like YouTube. It comes from places like Google image search, and it comes from places like doing Google searches, just like you're talking about. We also do keyword analysis on things that we write blog posts about as well. And this is another one where I think we have an activity in our internship program on kind of how to identify keywords and the volume of people that are searching that keyword, along with how competitive that keyword is. And so if you have a keyword that a lot of people search for, but the competition is really, really high where you can't get on the first page, chances are if you write an article on that topic, nobody's going to see it because you won't be on the first page. And so kind of like the sweet spot for us has been these medium volume keywords that have medium competition, because our site, every site has a thing that's called domain authority. And our domain authority, we actually took a huge jump up in the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And I think we're up to 46 now for our domain authority. And this is basically like Google's rating in their algorithm of like how credible your website is and how to rank posts on your website compared to others. And these are definitely skills that marketers, digital marketers especially, need to know, because that's just, it's a different world now. It's not all about TV ads, and I can't even get myself to say radio ads. Podcast ads are actually picking up quite a bit of steam, though. And so, yeah, been a pretty exciting week. We also launched our first on-demand course. So in the past, our Vyten members have done a lot of live workshops. And 2 weeks ago, we had a live workshop. We invited all of our interns to it as well. That was walking through how to build a WordPress site using Bluehost. And it's kind of funny. I was like going through my email back in the day, and I actually found the confirmation email for when Vyten signed up for Bluehost. Our very first website in 2013 was actually hosted on Bluehost, and so it was kind of fun to see it come full circle back to WordPress. But now we have 27 on-demand videos that are like 3 to 5 minute bite-sized videos that anybody can watch if they're interested in building a personal website. But what do you think, Carson, the reason that like students should be building a personal website now? It's pretty
Yeah,
common now.
it's
Almost
so
everybody is
common.
doing it.
Yeah, and I think it's also because we do live in a more virtual world right now. And I think employers have kind of and recruiters have come to favor that over a cover letter, because it's an opportunity for you to showcase a lot of different skills. So you can showcase any, especially if you want to go into marketing or PR. That's kind of your opportunity to brand yourself, but also that's kind of another base for you to publish blogs or showcase different projects or portfolios that you maybe can't get on your resume. But also I think it comes down to how you present yourself in a professional environment. So yeah, especially now, it's super important. And I think a lot of people are a little hesitant about getting started. And Vincent, I know some of the questions that we've gotten is it super expensive to make your own website? And how much
Yeah,
time
that's a
goes
great
into
question.
that?
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be expensive at all. Like it can literally cost a quarter a day. Like literally a quarter a day. I'm not even like exaggerating there. I think where this like misconception that it's expensive to build a website comes from is because we all see the advertisements for sites like Squarespace and sites like Wix, which they are incredible website builders. I've built websites on both Squarespace and on Wix, but you're definitely paying a premium to
Mhm.
use those services. And I think the tough thing about them is that the way that those businesses are built, you start with like a basic plan that costs $10 a month. And it's actually not even 10 on Squarespace and Wix. I think the minimum plans are like 12 and $14 a month.
Yeah.
And the more and more that you want to be able to do, like the more features you want to be able to use, it just costs more and more money, and like goes up to like $50 a month pretty
Mhm.
quickly. That's why I'm a big fan of using open source software. Open source software is basically free software that you can use. So WordPress.org is different than WordPress.com, but on WordPress.org, you can download the WordPress software for free. And there are like thousands of themes that you can
Mhm.
install and use for free. And there's thousands of plugins that you can use and install for free. And so you can add all of these like advanced capabilities to your website, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, but more importantly, because large companies, 38% of the internet uses WordPress, but because large companies use WordPress, it's also a really great skill to have on your tool
Mhm.
belt. And so, an employer can tell if a website is on Squarespace or on Wix. And the reality of it is it's not that hard to do a website on Squarespace or on Wix. But if you can build a WordPress site, add plugins, change themes, these are all the same types of things that companies need from their marketing teams or from their digital
Mhm.
teams. And the there is virtually no search engine optimization on Squarespace and Wix.
Yeah.
Whereas on WordPress, you have all of the advanced features that companies would expect their employees to be able to know, but also that they can leverage themselves on your personal website. And even for somebody who like wants to start a blog and start influencing, whether it's like food related, recipes related, travel related, like whatever your hobby might be, if you want to start a blog, any type of serious blog to build an audience, WordPress is the place to
Yeah.
be.
Exactly. And I know for my, I remember when I was applying for my first internship, one of the qualifications was that you need to know how to use Squarespace, because that's where their whole digital marketing plan was. And one of the most difficult parts of the job for me was being able to show any progress in the website and how it was driving traffic, because that isn't something that you could do very easily in Squarespace. And so I think it's really important that you realize there are a lot of other platforms as well out there that you can use to tailor to what needs you want and the goals that you want to accomplish with having a site.
Yeah, I saw a question just now in the chat about how do you access this course where that I'm talking about, the 27 different videos that show you step by step how to launch a website. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to add that to our link tree on our Instagram bio. And so right after this live stream, if you just hit the link tree in our Instagram bio, you can sign up for this course. The course is free. We're not charging anything for this course. All you have to do is just set up a free account on our website. If you already have a Vyten member account, then you're already set to go. Once you log in, you'll get instant access to this course. And so that is live right now on our link tree.
Perfect.
Um, So we also launched this new community that we're pretty excited about. We've had hundreds of people already join the community within the first week of it launching, and it's pretty exciting. It's called the VytenCouncil, and the VytenCouncil is basically a community of people that are working on their careers. They're a community of people that are working on taking control of their future and kind of grabbing their future. I always see those Instagram stories that people post as stories. And one of my friends had one this morning, and it was a quote, and it basically just said, "I will take 100% ownership over my future." And what I thought was kind of incredible about that is there's a huge difference between two groups of people, people who think that the world and things happen to them, and people who are taking control of their own life and creating their own destiny. And if you think bad things keep happening to you, if you think you're a victim of it, then, and you think that there's nothing you can do to change it, then the unfortunate part is it's kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy. Like your life won't change, won't get better if you think that you can't impact that. But the moment that you realize that you're in control of that, and that you can create your future, and that you can take ownership over your future, and the things don't happen to you, you can go out into the world and make things happen to yourself for your future. That's what ends up being really exciting. And so this is something that is really, really big. And so what I love about in this community is it's a very supportive community where people are helping each other improve, helping each other get better. And I just saw a comment in there about what about poor people or people of color who experience systematic oppression. We actually had an entire workshop about this that was hosted by our members. And, it was a really good conversation. And the truth of the matter is, I know myself being a son of two immigrants and as an Asian American, there are, certain things that you have to be able to live with and to be able to get through. I've been told in the past that I didn't get a job because I wasn't something enough. I didn't have the enough experience. I didn't have the right background. I didn't go to the right college. And so I think those things, like if I let them get me down, and if I chose to be a victim and feel sorry for myself, it could have potentially prevented me from learning and taking the necessary steps to be able to move forward. And the truth of the matter is that everybody is going to face hardship. Some people face, unfortunately, more hardship than others. And is that right? No. Is it fair? No. But everybody can go out and try to make an impact. And I think that's one of the things that we saw the most from John Lewis. If you want to talk about inspirational people who had gone out to try to make the world a better place, without your John Lewises of the world, it's not possible for us to be able to move forward together. Question that I see in the chat. If you have a question, the chat flies by really, really fast, especially as people are waving and joining the session. It's really awesome. Panto, thanks for joining us. HashPal, thanks for joining us. Madstergaard, thanks for joining us. Make sure you put your questions in the chat bubble. So there's a little chat bubble right there with a question mark. If you put your questions there, they won't get lost, and we can bring them up on a list and just make sure we hit all of them. But Aquarian Roses asks,
really good one.
How do you overcome getting ghosted by companies after a few interviews? Is it okay to ask for constructive feedback like what you're discussing? Yeah, I mean, getting ghosted is the worst. And I know exactly what that feels like. And here's the thing that's tough. For every single job posting that's out there, on average, there's 250 people that apply for that job. And that's a lot of people. And if a job is on LinkedIn and there's an easy apply button, then it's like thousands of people have applied for that job. And so the truth of the matter is a lot of the times I think recruiters are well-intentioned, but overwhelmed. And I know this working and recruiting myself at a Fortune 100 company in the past, where I didn't have enough minutes in the day to be able to respond to every single person with a heartfelt personal message. And that's just the unfortunate reality. The average recruiter is working on between 20 and 35 different open roles. And so if you think 250 to 1,000 people applying for each of those 25 to 30 roles, all of a sudden you're talking about potentially 30 to 40,000 people. And so, no person can write back to every single one of them. So the question is how do you overcome getting ghosted, and is it okay to follow up? And the answer is yes, it's 100% okay to follow up. And there's polite ways of being able to do this. Our Vyten Pro members have access to something that we call the Job Search Networking Template Kit. And in this template kit, I literally have the exact emails that I would use to follow up, exactly how many days I would wait to follow up and exactly what to send to recruiters to be able to follow up. And, we also have a template in there for exactly what you're talking about, constructive feedback after an interview. So let's say you get an email that's a polite, hey, thank you so much for applying, but unfortunately we've decided to go with another candidate. In this template kit, I just see Chris said in
Chris.
the chat, this template kit rocks. In the template kit, there's even an email that basically says, thank you so much for considering me. And, I wish you the best with the person that you decided to hire for this role. And, in enough words, it's all about then at that point, keeping a good relationship, not burning any bridges and asking them to keep you in mind for potentially other roles because maybe the company liked you. Maybe they saw that you were a fit into the culture, but for this particular role, there might have been somebody that just had a different skill set than you. But it doesn't mean that you can't work there ever. And so, with the right follow-up and asking for the right feedback, you can A, learn how to improve for the next company that you interview with, but B, there might be another role opening up in that company in the future that might be a slam dunk for you, might be a perfect fit for you. And so, yeah, definitely you can overcome this. And with the getting ghosted, this is where the follow-up just matters. Being there at the right time, at the right place, with a gentle but polite, yet firm follow-up message is totally key. Absolutely matters a ton. And we're working right now on a job search course that we're going to release here probably in the next month or so. But it is like 150 videos that we're going to be releasing as part of our Vyten Plus and Pro memberships. And so everybody who's a Vyten Plus or Pro member will get access to this job search course. And it goes through step by step all of this type of stuff. I believe I'm in the process of being ghosted, but reverted back to the job search template. We'll keep you posted on the outcome. So excited to hear how that goes, Pantostoria. I see a message in here. Excited. Hey, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. This is our weekly career huddle. If you just joined us, let's bring up some of these questions. So we're going to bring up some of these questions. If you have a question, it's not too late to get your question in. So you can hit that chat bubble down below with the little question mark, type your question in there, and then we can bring it up on the screen. And we're going to try to take the next 15 minutes or so and try to answer as many of these questions as we possibly can. What's the average amount of time that recruiters take to get back to you after an interview? Yeah, the average amount of time, I would say, hey, Alexandra, the average amount of time I would say typically is around a week, but it really does matter where the recruiter is in the hiring process. Hey, Alexa, thanks for joining us. And so the question, what's the average amount of times the recruiters take to get back to you? It really varies because if they're at the beginning of their hiring process, it might be a little bit longer. If they already have all the final candidates and you're one of the final candidates, then it might be a little bit faster. But here's what I would say is like the master tip. And the one thing that you should take away though, one of your last questions at the end of every single interview, every single phone interview, every single video interview, every single in-person interview, every single interview that you do, one of the last questions that you ask should be, what are the next steps here and over what time period should I expect to hear back from you? And the reason you should ask that question is it tells you the exact amount of time before you should be following up. So if somebody says, hey, Alexandra, we're interviewing other candidates right now. The last interview is a week from now. So it's going to be next Wednesday. We're going to be doing a debrief. So you should hear back shortly back after that. As soon as Wednesday passes, you can follow up with, hey, you told me during my interview that this was your time frame. So I'm just following up. Then you don't seem like that person that's like overly aggressively following up, but also maybe they're super early in the process. Maybe it's going to be 2 weeks before they can interview all of the other candidates. You don't want to be that person that's following up after 3 days if they're not going to finish interviewing the rest of the candidates for 2 weeks. And so that's why it's really important at the end of every single interview, towards the end of every interview. Usually you have like 5 to 10 minutes to be able to ask questions. It's great to be able to ask a question um, about the business, about the projects, about the team culture that shows that you've done your research. And so this is what we call, as part of the Vyten method, an informed question. So an informed question basically shows off a little bit that you've done your research, and it asks a level 2 question. So like a level 1 question would be like, what are your company values and what do you believe in? A level 2 question would be something along the lines of, hey, I read on your website that integrity is one of your company values. Can you give me an example of a project that contributes towards that, right? So the level 2 question is not what are your company values, but it makes it clear that you've read something, done some research, and you're asking a question that's a deeper, deeper question. So that's the type of question you got to ask at the end of an interview. But another one is around the time frame. Thanks, Jabber. That's a really great question. Danielle, we've had two Danielles just join us. Danielle Winter, nice to see you. Danielle Springer, thanks for joining us as well. And Creation Designs joins every single week. I'm trying to remember. Was it Nicole? I don't remember. I might have gotten that wrong. You can let me know
I
if
think
I'm
so.
wrong.
I think you're right.
Wrong there. I still haven't received my Vyten internship decision. If you haven't received your Vyten internship decision, Carson, can you screenshot this and we'll follow up right
Yes,
after this?
of
Check your
course.
spam folder. Unfortunately, some of our emails for some people have been going to spam, which is super, super unfortunate because we want our interns to be able to start. And so if you haven't heard from us, I'll tell you the right amount of time to follow up with us, 7 days. Nicole, yes, I got that right. If you've applied for a Vyten internship and you haven't heard back from us within 7 days, you should absolutely follow up with us, hello@vyten.com. And if you haven't heard back from us, or you write us an email and you don't hear back from us, which is super weird and not doesn't happen, check your spam folder. It might be going to your spam folder. So we apologize for that. But yeah, we make all internship decisions basically within 7 days. So if you haven't heard back, let us know. If you haven't applied for our internship and you're interested in being a student intern for us, we have a virtual internship program. We go through a week about sales, a week about marketing, a week about search engine optimization, a week about data analytics. We spend some time on project management. And so like it's a rotational internship program. Really, really great for anybody in college or recently graduated from college looking to get into a business, into some type of job in business in the future. So not a great internship like if you're interested in getting into healthcare,
Medicines. Yeah.
yeah, medicine. It could be fine if you're looking to go into law and you might be working a little bit before law school. But really, if you are interested in a career in business, this internship is a really, really great internship
So Vincent,
program.
really fast, one thing that I wanted to mention, so that makes our internship unique is aside from it being completely remote, each week is pretty self-paced. And so, for example, we have interns that work day shifts or work night shifts. And so, other than our weekly live stream, there aren't a lot of meetings or events that happen at a specific time, which is super useful because everyone has a lot going on in their lives right now. So you can adapt it to your situation. And if you're dealing with things like time change, we don't have to work as hard to coordinate that. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind if you are thinking about applying.
Yeah, that's a great point. This live stream is actually the only thing that we do live during the internship. And even this is posted on our Instagram profile, on our IGTV right after. But we've tried to make it as flexible as possible because I know there's a lot of international students who, for the past 2 years, might have been studying in the US, but right now you might be outside of the US. And you could be in Australia or in New Zealand or in Hong Kong or in wherever, on a different time zone. I saw a message I want to go back to. Jabber says, current intern here. It turned out to be a way more useful than I thought it would be, which I'm going to take that as a compliment. I think it's a good thing that the internship program is awesome. And Lori Oken here. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Um, Good crew on here.
Um, Vincent, one other thing to give a quick shout out. So we have our intern leaderboard. So every week we have a little like friendly competition between our interns to see who is showcasing amazing skills and really using the things that they've learned and applying them to their lives. And so this week we have Monica A, Nicole H, and Angela V, if you guys are on. They are all ranked tied for #1. So congrats to
Ooh,
you guys. And Jabra, you're right there up there with them. So yeah, so shout out to them for working so hard and making some great projects and work.
that's awesome. Tied for #1. I'm excited to
Yeah,
see
three-way
who's
tie
gonna
for
take.
#1.
Yeah, three-way tie for #1. I'm excited to see who's gonna take this at the end of the week. For our interns, we have a secret passcode this week.
Oh shoot, I forgot to think of one.
All right, in the chat, somebody throw out a
Yeah, someone
color.
throw in
What's
a
your favorite color? Throw that into the chat, and we will make one of these the super secret password for the week for anybody who's currently in our internship program. So we'll give a second for that to come through. Coming up, we have a lot coming. Lavender is the first one. So
perfect.
super secret passcode of the week will be lavender. And so just put that into the Google Classroom sometime before the end of the week. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming. So on the new website, we launched an entire course system, and so people can take courses, like self-paced courses. And this is one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we've gotten from a lot of our Vyten members is we do a lot of live workshops, and the live workshops are really fun. I really enjoy it because, it's interactive. You get to meet other people. There's a ton of energy, just like on this live stream. There's a ton of energy. But I also feel bad because not everybody's available at the same time as well. And so these on-demand courses, we're going to be rolling out. Our goal is to roll out one new course a month on a different topic. And so if you have feedback on what things you would like to see courses about in the future, you can put that on the feedback page in the VytenCouncil. So when you join our community, there's a link to that in our link tree, which is on our Instagram bio as well. If you're not a member, a free member of our Vyten community, you can join there. There are special areas where our Plus members and our Pro members get additional access to kind of private spaces with other Plus members, but you can join and throw that feedback on there. We're starting to do our planning. I can't believe it's like almost 2021 already. We're starting to do our planning for what things we're going to do in 2021. And, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do a course on productivity. And, I think this year, especially with the pandemic and everybody being at home, I don't know about you, but it's like hard to stay focused at home. And so,
Very
the
hard.
our productivity course is going to be all about organization, whether you're in school, whether you have started a new job recently, whether you're in a job search, no matter what you're doing, planning a wedding, I don't know. Like organization and being able to execute and being able to get stuff done is so important. And there's different ways and different strategies to be able to optimize there. So that's one that I'm
And
really excited for.
also some of the courses that we hope to get out by the beginning of the year. Like Vincent was saying, it has to do with things that are related to the job search process or moving up in your career. But it's not only directly like this is how you get a job. It's like, okay, once you're in this position, this is a course on how you move from an entry level job to a manager position, or this is a course, like Vincent said, on how to be
Totally.
productive and things like that. So we want to provide everyone with like not only skills that help them get their job, but also help them move up in different aspects of their career or aspects of their lives.
Yeah. Let's crank through these questions real quick. What is the keyword for the weekly huddle assignment? Did I miss it? You might have missed it, but it's lavender. So if you're on right now, lavender, 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 put that into your Google Classroom to be able to get credit for this session. Carson, I don't know the answer to this one. Can I redo my Vyten assignments to get a new score? So if I missed
Yes,
an assignment, okay. So yes.
100%. Just submit it at any time.
So
It won't be, you won't be penalized or anything.
this was like my jam when I was in high school because I was totally like right at the very end, last minute, like doing all my makeup assignments. And so
Oh my
that's totally
God.
me. So yeah, you can redo your assignments, resubmit them, get them rescored, and it's not too late for you to take the number one spot on the leaderboard, although we got a good three-way tie
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Chris asks, is it common for companies to create a job for you if they're not hiring? And the answer to this is yes, it is. Um, the reality of it is that companies want to hire talented, passionate people who are going to be aggressive about learning and who can deliver results. And if they don't have a particular spot right now, that doesn't mean that they won't in the future. And, I have heard of plenty of times of people who have pitched companies, had companies fall in love with a person, like really
Hmm.
like the person, and then take a step back and go, hey, we really want so and so on the team. Where do we think they can do best? And they actually create a role. Or maybe down the road, that perfect role opens up and they go, hey, remember so and so that we met 6 months ago? Let's go talk to that person and see if they're available to be able to come join
Exactly.
for that role. And so, yeah, it definitely happens all the time. This is
And
why networking with folks in the business ends up being so important. So if you want to
mhm,
go into marketing, it's being able to reach out to the director, the VP, the CMO at that company and just build a relationship with them, regardless of whether or not that role is currently posted or not. And, typically folks in HR know other people in HR at other companies. Folks in sales know other
exactly.
people at other companies in sales. And so even if it doesn't work out with that company, that person could actually introduce you to a friend that works in sales at another company. Like I know when I was in sales, we all pre-pandemic seems like so long ago, but it was just last year. Like we all went to the same conferences and we sold to the same people. And so I
Mhm,
knew all the salespeople at these other companies. And so that's a common across every single type of
exactly.
job. So
And we
yeah.
actually have a blog article about how to send a letter of interest. So if you have a company that you would love to work at, but maybe they don't have a position open, check that out on how to write a letter of interest and just show them that you should be considered in the future.
And this is a great question from Eric Jara, 99. How many days should you wait so you could ask for some feedback to a company that has ghosted you? We have this in our job search template kit, but it's actually not just one email that you send after an interview. So it's not like, oh, wait 45 days, and if you haven't heard back, send one email. It's actually, it'll get a little bit into our Vyten method. Typically, the first follow up happens either 3 days or 7 days after either the last interview or the last email. Then from there, if 7 days has passed, you wait another 7 days and you send another note. Then after that, you wait 14 days, right? 7 plus 7, you wait 14 days and you send your next one at 14 days. Then after that, 14 plus 14, about 30 days later is when you send your next note. And then after 30 days, you send your follow-ups every 30 days after that. And so over a longer period of time, the follow-ups become less frequent. But there might be companies right now that are interested in hiring somebody. They want to make sure they have a talent bench available, but maybe the budget is not available until January 1st. That was
Hmm.
really common for me in a lot of
Yeah.
companies that I worked with, where at the beginning of the year, I had a brand new budget, brand new head count. And so even if I met somebody in November, they interviewed, I really, really liked them. If I didn't have the budget and the dollars to be able to hire them until January, I couldn't hire them
Hmm.
until January. And so that's why the follow up is really, really key, but also just building and maintaining the relationship
Yes,
is so
especially
key
now
as
since we've
well.
seen so many hiring freezes. just really utilizing those follow-ups are going to be super helpful in the future in the next coming months.
Man, time always flies on these weekly huddles. It's been
Wow.
awesome spending time with everybody. If this session was helpful to you, hit that heart button down below. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. If you are part of our internship program, secret password this week is lavender. If you're not one of our interns and you're interested in applying, you can do that at vyten.com/intern. There's a link in our Instagram bio as well.
Yes.
And
And
this morning, we just launched our course on how to build a personal website. It's really great if you want to freelance. It's really great if you want to do consulting work. It's really great if you want a place to put your portfolio. It's really great if you're thinking about starting your own company, small business. If you want to build an audience, you just want to launch a blog, or if you're in a job search, it's really, really great to be able to have a personal website and not have the constraints of what you can't show on a resume, because you can't put a video on your resume. You can't put photos. Well, you can put photos on your resume, but you shouldn't.
yes.
And these are all reasons why having a personal website is really, really helpful. And we wanted to help as many people as we could. So we have this course available to all of our Vyten members, our free members, our plus members, our pro members, all of our Vyten members. If you don't have an account, you can go to vyten.com and sign up. There's a link to that course in our bio as well. I hope everybody has a great day. And or Alexandra asks, is that the same session that we had a few weeks ago? No. So in this session, I just recorded it last week. And it covers some of the same areas, but it goes deeper in other areas. So if you joined us for our live workshop, and you're building your site, this one's still a great one to be able to do. It's broken down into different sections with different headers and different categories. And so you can also skip straight to the video if there's a particular section that you want to go to. And this is how we're starting to launch all of our Vyten courses, with kind of like this table of contents, so you can kind of skip forward and go back. We'll call it the Vyten DVR. All right, everybody,
Yeah, exactly.
take care.
And then
have a great day.
if anyone
And
has questions they want to be answered on the live stream next week, make sure you text Vincent them so we can make sure we get those answers to you.
oh yeah, great reminder. My cell phone number also in the link on our Instagram bio. But for anybody who doesn't have my cell phone number, 615-667-8433. That's 615-667-8433. And that phone number is in our Instagram bio as well. Actually, on our Instagram profile, you can just hit the text button and get
So
my info.
convenient.
But so convenient. So yeah, hit the text button, shoot me a text. All right, take care, everybody.
Awesome.